welcome everybody. I'm going to talk to you about doing content on YouTube that is not just unboxing and boring stuff. So my plan for today is to give you an idea of the cool things that you could do on YouTube if you're interested in YouTube, or showing you what I've been doing. I'll tell you a little bit about me and my story, and then I'll talk about my evolutions over the 8 years plus that I've been on YouTube, and why do we create content and what kind of content. So I'm 42 years old and I'm from Switzerland, and I'm an entrepreneur and content creator. I originally studied computer science in Egyptology, which is definitely not a good combination and not a combination to make money. I mean, I was studying computer science in Geneva, so what people do after that kind of degree, usually they just go and go work in a bank, and that's not the kind of job I would have been happy in, so I just went for my own projects. So I've done 10 years of cheerleading, and I've created video games, and with this video game I actually tried to sell byproducts by it, and that made me start my first fashion brand that was cheerleading uniforms. And so when I started doing Lolita a while later, I actually started making cheerleading Lolita dresses, because I had the experience of working with factories, and I was able to have fashion shows and sell. I said 8 countries, but then I counted and it's a lot more. Anyways, and I was so lucky to actually have been able to sell in Japan in the fashion show in Japan, and that was amazing, but that's not what we're talking about today. I started Lolita fashion in 2008, at least that's the first photo that I have, and I discovered street fashion with the art book that's called Fruits. And it's art book of street snaps, like photographies of people wearing cool fashion in Japan, and I was like, wow, people are allowed to wear this, this is a thing. And so then later I started buying Lolita, and seriously going to meetups and being more active in the community in 2015, and I'm now daily Lolita since 2022. And so my YouTube story, like I said, I was doing cheerleading, and it was taking my whole life, and when I stopped, I suddenly realized that I could have a life for myself, and I started going to my old interests, and I found Lolita again, and then I also decided to start crafting and doing accessories for Lolita, and my friend said, oh, you always wanted to start YouTube, so maybe you should do that now. And I started with so many different content. I was doing some accessories for Lolita fashion, like unboxing. I was doing Pokemon Go, travels, and a little bit of everything. And in about like 6 months, I realized that the Lolita fashion was the one that was actually getting more views, so I focused on that. And so many people told me, oh, I love how you dress, but me, I could never do this because I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm a guy, I'm not white enough. And then I realized that there's a real lack of people showing you that it's possible for everybody to wear what you want. And I decided that my motto will be everybody can be kawaii, and that will be my mission, to actually talk about that. And that was my first channel that I started 8.5 years ago. So the first screenshot, December 6, 2016, that's when I started my first channel. And I'm almost at 2 years in my second channel, and you can see I'm almost also at 10K subscribers. So the first one took me 8 years to reach that, and the next one is almost there in 2 years. And when I started Fluffy Kawaii, so the first channel about Lolita fashion, I posted 2 to 3 videos a week, which is already a lot. But now that I'm doing cozy gaming on my other channel, I'm posting daily, plus one time on Fluffy Kawaii, so that's 8 videos a week. And if you want to know how I do that, I can also talk about that, but that's not the main thing. So that was mostly about if people were interested in starting YouTube. So think about the language that you want to talk about. So is that English is not my first language, but I'm fluent enough to be able to speak in English, so I decided to do that instead of French, because there's more people speaking English in the world. And then what you want to start with, like use your phone and natural light, and you don't need to buy expensive equipment to start. Just everybody has in their pocket something that is more powerful than the webcams that the biggest YouTubers started with anyways. And then what platforms you want to be in, because there's so many different ones. Don't start everything at once. And also you need to consider the budget, because if you take in your time and equipment and possible classes or anything and the tools and the help, it will actually be more expensive than people think, but you can do it totally for free too. And also it will take more time than you ever think it will. And so just not filming, but also editing, promoting, going on location, answering comments, or tons of things that we need to think about. And at the moment I'm hiring people to help me edit, and you can do it yourself or you can ask people to do that for you. Yeah, I'm doing quick for this one. Okay, so this is my vlogging setup. I actually have it now here in my pocket. I have something tiny like this to vlog and just use my phone. And this is super convenient because I don't need a big thing with me. And I started with an iPhone 6. Then in my studio, I have, this is my old studio, but it looks very similar now. I have 2 big softboxes, 1 ring light, and a very old, like 8 years old thing that you see here actually. And just another tripod. This is the easy one to travel with. I'm actually now mostly editing with the Adobe Premiere Pro, but there's also an editor that I have on my phone that allows me to edit in the train, in the plane, wherever, so that's very convenient. And when we do big shoots, most of the things that I will show you later today, I have my boyfriend actually taking the sound with the exact same mic I have here, just on a pole, and then somebody else film if I'm on, like, behind the camera. So if you want to cringe at me when I started YouTube, this was my very old baby face and my very crappy background. I went, you cannot really see, but it's like a damask pattern. And the thing is, I was in front of my wardrobe that was ugly. Maybe you see here, no, you cannot. Ugly doors. So then I put that was okay, but when I put this, I had to go on the top of chair and tape that to the top. So then if I forgot something in my wardrobe, that would be a whole ordeal. What I did is I put these flowers, they're like panels or flower walls, and I decided to put them together on top of each of the windows, the doors, and then I could still open it. That was very practical. And at the same time, I built this other part of my studio, which is another corner, that is just decoration. And that was for like 4 years until I moved, and then I have tons of more things. And now that I'm doing 2 different kinds of videos, I decided to split this in 2 things. Like, this is my Lolita video with the thing that says Kawaii and my Everybody Can Be Kawaii thing, and this in the middle. And then if I shift the camera just to the other side, I'm doing my videos for the cozy gaming. That is actually about a game that's called Hello Kitty Island Adventure. So it's a Sanrio game, so I have all my Sanrio Hello Kitty plushie and everything here. So I can just easily do 2 kinds of different things. This one, now that I moved, is actually just on the wall and not in the opening of the wardrobe anymore. So now the thing is, why do we make content? The 3 more things would be to make money, or for fame, or for fun. So if we want to make money on, I'm going to talk mostly about YouTube, but it works for all the other social media. You need to make content around things that you can sell for yourself or for other people, like sponsors or affiliates or ads or something like that. So if you really want to make money, you need to think about products and make people buy stuff through you. If you want to do it for fame, you need to do the viral content and some things like follow what the algorithm wants. For example, now on Instagram, you need to put sound in your photos, which makes no sense for me and I hate it. And so this is why I'm not doing things for the fame, unfortunately. And if you're doing things for fun, then you can do what you want, but you will have no money and no fame. So unfortunately, this is my experience. I think that maybe if you do it for the fame, you will get the money or some of it. But yeah, if you really want to do it for the fun, it's you're more free, but you have less of the advantages. So on my fashion channel, these are my 10 most viewed videos. Most of them are like quite old, for like almost 6 or 7 years ago, but they do not really have a lot of views or anything. And so if we look at that, out of my 10 best videos, 4 are about buying stuff for Lolita at debatable places like Wish, AliExpress and things like that, or huge quantities. I had a big pile. 1 is a shopping vlog, I think, in London. 2 are interviews of cool people. 1 is research about petticoats. 1 is just my trailer. And the other one is off topic. It was something about Ingress and Pokemon Go. The kind of content that works most of the time for fashion is hauls, because they're easy and fast to film, and that works with the algorithm because people want to know what you bought, and this is fun. And so some people have dedicated a whole channel to just showing what they've bought. And so I'm doing a lot of that also because it works, but this is not the thing that is exciting me. And so at the moment when I'm doing also at events, I'm doing so many events a year. So my vlogs of, hey, I'm at this event, look at these cool shops and everything, it was so boring after like 10 in a year. So now I decided that I'm going to film, so I've been doing that. I started doing that maybe 2 years ago or something. I film vertically all the cool outfits of all the cool people that I meet, and then this is something that is super fast for me to film. It's super easy, and I can use it on TikTok and on Instagram also if I want to. I never have time to post on those 2 other platforms, but I could theoretically do that. I said you won't get famous by just showing what you bought, like doing hauls or something like that, but you can also use this to share important things. Like for example, you can do hauls about sustainable brands or plus size fashion or things like that. So you can still bring information into hauls and things like that, but that's not really the things that would make you so famous, but just showing. Some people just do their whole thing about buying, but then you keep having to buy more and more and more. So I'm happy I started doing this, but this is not how I want to be remembered. Oh, she's the girl who's buying stuff. How you want to find things that you're proud of is to create content about things that are valuable to you and what are your beliefs. So the communities are not created around shared interests, but around shared values. So in Lolita community, for example, you're not friends with everybody. You're friends with people who love Lolita like you, but also with people that like the same other interests as you or have the same values in the world. And so mine is, like I said before, did I say that? Yeah, everybody can be kawaii. I really wanted to showcase that everybody can wear this fashion. It's for any type of people. And so I decided that do this through interviews of showing people, if I'm telling you everybody can be kawaii, it's less valuable than showing you this person who is plus size is wearing beautifully, this person who is a guy that is 60 years old is wearing beautifully, and then interviewing them on how they do it daily, what are the struggle and what are the tips and everything. And so then I have another belief that Lolita clothes are just clothes, so you can do stuff in it and not just sit and drink tea. And I started a series that's called Action Lolita, and we try action sports in our dresses. And then I have another belief that it should not be hard to start, that we should not gatekeep to people and make it too hard. So I started another series that's called SOS Kawaii, and it's more like, where do I buy, how do I go outside, things like that. And then I'm sure it's like edutainment, I'm doing fun things and also educational. And then Lolitas and people shouldn't be disrespected. Basically, it's just a fun comedy skits that we are taking a world with everybody is wearing Lolita and the normies are the ones that are weird, and so we're putting them through everything that they put us, like, is it a wedding or whatever. And so my latest project is my friends are creative, and so let's share that with the world. And so we are making Disney song parodies. So I'm showing you a few of my videos about each of the categories. So the things that is mostly everybody can be kawaii, they're mostly interviews of diverse Lolita people. And so each time I put like the QR code of the playlist, so if you want to take a photo and later go watch the things for yourself, you can. I did it for about 2017 to 2023. I don't think I did any lately. There's about 30 videos in this section, and the views can vary from 300 views to 17,000 views. So some of them are doing very well and some not really. Then educational videos, I have like two main things. I have a playlist that says what is Lolita fashion, and it's like 30 minutes things like what is Lolita fashion, what Lolita fashion is not, can men wear Lolita fashion, how to make a coordinate, what are the sub-styles, things like that. And so that's very practical advice for people knowing nothing, and it would take like maximum 15 minutes of their time to watch the whole thing. And then I have things like petticoats. For some reason I went so deeply into the petticoat research, and I tested, I think now in total 27 different petticoats, and I think I have even more, and like I measured them and everything. So I have a whole thing about petticoats, and that also 300 to 22,000, so it's really variable how popular this was. And then my Action Lolita series, we mostly stopped doing them because of COVID, because it was impossible to do anything, and then I did not start after that. It's 11 episodes of us trying, like here you have pole dance, rope courses, cheerleading, trampoline, throwing axes, circus. We're looking at a thing that's called bubble football, and my goal was to do a season 2 with the winter sports because I'm in Switzerland and we can go in the Alps and everything. That did not happen because of COVID, and then I changed my goals. And those all don't do as well as the other ones. Like you see, starts to be only, the best one is 3,000 views. And that involved 5 people. So there's us 3 and my boyfriend and brother to film and take the sound. And then I have this series that's called Lolitas versus Normies. We did 7 episodes. Some of them were just the 2 of us in a room and doing things like that. And some of them included like 13 people. And also those do between 1,000 to 2,000 views. That's the latest series that I have been doing. As you can see, everything stops when I started doing the other channel about cozy gaming. But I have only 2 episodes in this series, and I had written more, but we have not been producing them. And so the thing is, I'm the hotline of SOS Kawaii, so if you have an issue, you can call me and I come and fix it. And that, sometimes we had a few extras, but it's also, this one I think when we were 4, there was just 1 assistant, and I put the camera and would push play, and that was it. We would just do it, the 2 of us, and this one apparently did okay. Like those 2 episodes did not bad. And then the latest projects is that we are starting doing Disney songs, like parodies in Lolita. So this one, for example, you can see I was standing on a table to film her from the top to do the Little Mermaid one. And I said there's 2 unfinished ones because there's one that actually I managed to finish, but it was not finished when I made this. And the other one is 2 years after when I started to edit it, I realized that I lost half the footage, unfortunately. So I have made the song. We can sing the song, but you cannot see any of the video clip that we did, unfortunately. And those do terrible, as you can see, 500 views, but this was super fun to make, and I really love that. And it was all filmed in the iPhone with my tripod. My motivation, I don't do it for the money, but if I could earn some money to at least pay my bills, that would be definitely nice. And I really do believe in my core thing that everybody can be kawaii, and if somebody comes and said, oh no, the men cannot wear dresses, I'm not mad. I don't want them on my channel, because this is, if they unsubscribe because they're mad about me thinking that a man can wear Lolita, then I'm like, I don't care. It's what really makes me think I'm doing a good work is when I meet people at conventions or in my comments that said, I thought I could not wear Lolita, but you showed me people who did, and then I think that now I'm ready to start, and I'm started or something like that. So this makes me so happy that I'm actually doing something good in the world and changing the world. Even if I'm not making any money with it, at least I'm helping other people change their life. One of my goals is to be invited at events like that to speak to other people, so I can meet other people and maybe inspire other people to try and follow their dreams. And if I could be maybe looking against, it would be nice, but this is not the case at the moment. I'm going to show you some episodes. One episode of each of the series. Be starting with Action Lolita. We are trying different sports, and usually it's more like a documentary of us being filmed doing the thing in life, and it's not scripted or anything. But this one, we made something different. We wanted to see if we could make it as if we commented on the thing that we did. And so we filmed extra things like that. And so this one worked a lot because it's kind of football, but we could not do that for axe throwing or anything. And so people tend to like this episode, so I'm going to just show you this one. And it's 17 minutes long, and then I have 2 other ones after that that are different series, but a lot shorter. But then we'll just have a look at this.